Hi, and welcome to ChristinaMarie.tv. I'm your host, Christina Marie. You ever wonder what it's like to be a psychic? Maybe you haven't, but tonight you might want to explore that. We have a psychic and ghost hunter on the show tonight. May I welcome Annalisa Bastiani. Hi, Annalisa. How are you?
Good, how are you?
A psychic and a ghost hunter.
I know, it sounds crazy, right?
It's a crazy double hyphen. First off, do you just walk up to people when you meet them and, hey, I'm Annalisa. Hi, I'm a psychic.
It's a great opener, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know. Wouldn't it be kind of weird?
I get real popular in bars, though.
I can
No,
imagine.
actually, I probably keep it a secret until somebody brings up that they're somewhat interested in the field or that they're open to it, because I don't want to offend anyone. A lot of times some things can be offensive or scary to people, and it's not my intention to throw them off in a frightening way. If anything, I want you to feel empowered by it. I don't want you to be, thinking that I can read your mind, because I don't think I can read minds.
So that must be like the first question people ask you. Oh, you're a psychic? Oh, yeah, well, what am I thinking?
Well, it gets even better after you've done something that makes them say, oh, she kind of knows about my situation. Then, of course, they think you know everything about the situation, and they don't want to even be near you because they're afraid you're going to pick up something, like just standing next to you, which doesn't happen. I'm not that lucky.
Like these crazy thoughts that go through your mind, and you're like, oh, God, I hope nobody
I
can.
can't
the psychic
don't think I'm in front of the psychic. Yeah, really, it doesn't work that way.
That must make dating really difficult.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. There's nothing else.
I can imagine.
The thing is I'm not really good at psychic for myself. I have to go to another psychic if I want to ask questions for me. It doesn't work for me because I think, first of all, my assumption is because I'm attached to the outcome. If I'm asking a question that I really want the answer to in a specific way, then I don't think I'm clear enough to judge what the cards say or what my intuition says. So it's probably better for me to go to somebody that I know that also does this, and we do it for each other.
Well, that's pretty. So you do a little barter system.
Little barter system, yeah.
Nice. So when you're reading, I'm sure there's a lot of people. When I said that you were on the show, a lot of people would say to me, oh God, I never go to a psychic because I don't want to know about my future.
Yeah.
You get that a lot.
Yeah, and you know what? There's nothing wrong with that either, because I think if you know too much or if you're too focused on the future, you don't pay attention to things that you can do right now.
You know what? We have a call already. Do we have a call? Oh, yes, we do. Okay.
My goodness.
Hi, caller. Hi, you're on the air.
Hi. First, I want to say I love your show.
Oh, thank you very much. Excellent.
So, I have a question.
I kind of knew you had a question.
You're good.
I'm good. Good. Yes, yes.
So, my question is, how do you actually rate kind of your success? I mean, do you really solve all these problems as you go along, or is there some kind of way that you kind of judge your success?
So how do you rate your success?
That's a good question. I've had actually people ask me right off the bat, what's your percentage of success? Is it 80%? Is it 90%? I don't know if I can answer that specifically, but I do know from the repeat customers that I have, or the clients that call me back, that something is going on right for them there. And I really don't think that, I know it's psychic work and I know I'm supposed to be telling the future, but I really don't think that's my focus. I think my focus is to tell you what the situation is right now, what things you may not know in the situation, and how you can divert it or keep it going in your favor. The future stuff is hard because I fully believe that the future changes on a dime.
Ah, very good. Caller, have you ever been to a psychic before?
I have, actually. And so, I mean, usually they're very vague in kind of, what's going to happen, what is happening, and it's very vague. And sometimes I find that it's just, anything that's going on in your life currently can kind of play in. And so
that's true.
It led me to believe, some kind of discontent with what I'm experiencing, because I think sometimes it's almost a play on words. And I don't mean to be disrespectful.
Not at all, not at all.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you, caller, for your call. That brings us to another point that we were going to talk about. How do you know when somebody's a fake? Because there are good readings, and then there's readings, like the caller had said, that are very vague and could pretty much fit into anybody's situation.
That's true. And I think, first of all, a situation gets specific when something I say triggers something in you, and that could be, it could just resonate with you somehow. I'm not saying I'm the best at it at all. I'm just saying that there's a connection sometimes that happens between a client and a psychic that really nails the situation, because the energy between them is really good. I can have off days too, or I can not connect to someone and not have, a good read on them, and can be vague too. The specific stuff happens without me knowing it. It'll just come out of my mouth sometimes, and they'll be, wow, nobody knew that, or whatever.
So at that point of the reading, they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now I get it.
Okay, that was vague, but that
was hit home.
That
yeah.
specific
Exactly.
thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
So so everybody has. I mean, people think psychic. Oh my God, it's a psychic. That has nothing to do with what I know. But people have intuition.
Absolutely.
And people have vibes. How they call gut reaction. I mean, however you want to call it. There are levels, I believe, and I don't know if this is true or not, of being psychic by the way that you either follow your intuition, and the more you follow it, it seems to get stronger. Is that something that actually happens?
I agree, especially the fact that you follow it. I think that's exactly what continues the process to accelerate, is to listen to it. And I noticed that even early on when I was studying this or learning how to do it more professionally, I noticed that as long as I trusted the information I was getting, then it really did turn out okay. If I started to question it, if I started to think too much, then that was panicky. That wasn't the information. The information always comes through calm. Even if it's, not so good information, it comes through calm, which brings me back to what a charlatan might do. I've had one experience myself. I can't speak for all, the bad psychics in San Francisco, but one really played on my fear, and I knew what I was getting into.
Okay, how do they play on your fear? An example?
They picked something that could have worked in my situation, not knowing much about my situation, and then centered in on something that would make me afraid, like someone's betraying you or something. I mean, that's vague, but they were specific enough that I went, wait a minute, and I know what you're doing. And it really did mess with my energy. I did think about it too much. And they told me to come back and give them more money, and they would do a spell or something like that. And of course I didn't do it, but it just seemed like it was a ploy to get more money. But it had affected me enough, knowing what the situation was, that I thought, God, somebody who's desperate, who really wants an answer, it's going to get taken in. It's going to say, okay, here's my money.
Okay, so asking for more money,
Never.
Not coming to a conclusion at the end, but saying you need to come back forward.
Exactly.
Okay, so these are all signs that a psychic isn't.
Signs that it's not, they may be psychic, but they're not ethical.
Okay, met a few of those.
Yeah.
And the whole thing about where they read your body language, read what you're wearing, maybe read your jewelry, read this in order
Half
to...
Half the time I worry that I'm doing that, and that's why I prefer to do it over the phone, so I'm not looking at you.
Okay.
So I don't pick up on your physical cues
so subconsciously it triggers you.
Sure, absolutely. And I think that's part of psychic or intuitive behavior anyway, is to pick up those clues. It's hard to separate them. I think they're connected.
Okay, so when somebody has a bad feeling about someone, they meet them right off the bat, and there's nothing that should be wrong, but somehow, little hairs on the back of the neck and the triggers and that go on. Is that a psychic sense, do you think, or is that a visual, or does that come deeper?
I think it's an energetic thing. I think everything boils down to energy, and I'm no physicist, but it really does seem to be a feeling, and an instantaneous one, that you really can't shake. And that happens, and people dismiss it all the time. Oh, I can't judge them. Oh, I can't do that. Because you're conditioned not to listen to it, because of whatever reason, it's not polite or whatever. Listen to it, because it could save your life. And I had that happen to me once, where I don't know why, I just didn't like this person. He was too close to me. I'd never met him before or seen him before in my life. He could have been the most wonderful person in the world. He followed me off a bus, and I thought he was going to kill me. That's the only thing I kept thinking. And when I hailed a cab to get away from him, literally, I grabbed the cab, and he was right behind me, and the cab driver said, that guy looked like he was going to hit you.
Oh boy.
And I had just, averted something. I don't know what it was, but it scared me enough that I listened to it. And I think everybody should listen, especially women. If you're out at night,
definitely,
it doesn't pay to go, oh, am I being impolite?
Be impolite.
Be impolite.
And be alive.
Yeah, and listen.
That's a new slogan. Be impolite and be alive. I like I'll buy that shirt.
Yeah.
Well, that I find that kids and animals tend to just, I don't like that guy, because they have no filter. No filter that the society filter. And the dogs, my dog used to love people, but occasionally there's a person he would just...
And weren't they always right?
They were.
Yeah.
They were. Yeah. I broke up with all of them.
Can I have that dog?
I'm renting him out right now.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay.